And moving on now, the opposition has attacked the government for the handling of the Kudgi incident. They have termed it a failure on part of the government intelligence machinery. Let's not forget that it has been quite a torrid atmosphere inside the state assembly today. First it was the Vijayanand Kashyap incident, and now we have the Bijapur protests that have raked quite a storm in the assembly. These were the scenes witnessed yesterday, where protesters had taken to the streets opposing the coming up of a thermal power plant, which they said would destroy their environment, and the officials were also not giving jobs to the local people there as per the promise. Well, my colleague Harish joins us live from right outside Vidhana Saudha. Well, Harish, quite a torrid time inside the Vidhana Saudha today.
Well, the opposition is currently cornering the state government over the way the state government handled the whole Kudgi protest by farmers against the thermal power plant. First, you had Jagdish Shettar, who targeted the state government. It is utter failure of the state government in terms of collecting the intelligence report and anticipating trouble when there were already meetings happening in the villages for the past few days, and there were also smaller protests every time there was an MLA or a minister who visited the plant. So somewhere when there was prior information that officials from the thermal power corporation were visiting the site on the 5th, the government should have provided adequate security and also brought in deployment in terms of KSRP and other forces to try and make sure that nothing goes out of hand. Also, they have also targeted the state government on the way they have handled the whole issue. There are a few concerns that have been raised by the farmers in and around this Kudgi plant. Especially some of them are, their concern is that the water will be diverted from the Alamati reservoir. Roughly around 5 to 6 of water might be going to this power plant, which will mean there might be less water for irrigation over there. This is one of their concerns. Apart from that, in terms of environmental concern, they're concerned that the fly ash that is generated from the power plant will spoil the environment, as well as throw up breathing issues for people staying around this particular power plant. And the third one, and the crucial one, is several opposition leaders are complaining that this power plant is employing people from Bihar and other North Indian states, and farmers, local farmers who have lost their land for this power plant and who were assured a job haven't been given a job. Instead, people from outside the state are given importance. That seems to have really irked the farmers. So these are some of the issues that right now the state government is being targeted on by the opposition, cutting across party lines, whether it's Jagdish Shettar or H.D. Kumaraswamy from JDS or former leader Puttanaya. All of them are targeting the state government and the lack of or the failure of its intelligence, Nishita.
Right, and also we understand that the government has been absolutely failing in providing adequate answers, whether it is the Kashyap case or whether it is the Bijapur case. What is the situation now? How exactly is the Home Minister tackling all these barrage of questions which they had been anticipating over the weekend?
Well, especially in the Vijayanand Kashyap case, somewhere the government will have to thank the efforts of the Speaker. There was a meeting that the Speaker called in for both the opposition and the government and floor managers, and thankfully that seems to have given some kind of some relief to the state government. After the entire issue was raised on the floor of the House, first thing in the morning, there was a short answer by Home Minister stating that the state government will not interfere in this probe, and the police will go ahead, the CCB will go ahead with the probe, and there will be no interference from the state government. But it looks like that particular meeting by the Speaker seems to have paid dividends, because there was only a symbolic stage out, walkout of the opposition, after which they have returned to the floor of the House, and there is discussion which is going on currently. But definitely on the Kudgi issue, the state government will be cornered, because there was firing. And remember, when one farmer had committed suicide last year around when there was section in Belgavi, there was assurance which came in from the state government stating that there will be no more lathi charge or firing on farmers irrespective of what the protest is. But we had seen in Kudgi that protest went out of hand and farmers were lathi charged, people were injured in firing, and there were reports. Now the BJP and opposition is demanding that instead of a DC probe, a lower magistrate level probe, they are demanding that there be a high level judicial probe, Nishita.
Right, Harish, thank you for joining us with all those details there. And meanwhile, Vijayanand Kashyapanavar arrived at the CCB office this morning for questioning. Kashyapanavar had been involved in a brawl in the Sky Bar on his birthday when he took 2 police constables and beat them up. Well, the issue snowballed into a huge controversy when the opposition questioned the lack of action on part of the government against Vijayanand. The MLA was questioned by the CCB ACP, Ravi Kumar, and 3 inspectors.
ವಿಶ್ವಾಸ ಇದೆ, ಖಂಡಿತ ಜಯಗಳಿಸ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ. ಆ ರೀತಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಮಾನ್ಯ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ಗೃಹ ಸಚಿವರು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಿಷ್ಪಕ್ಷಪಾತವಾಗಿ ತನಿಖೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಹುರುಳಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿ ಇಲಾಖೆಯವರು ನನ್ನ ಕರೆದಾಗ ನಾನು ಸಹಕರಿಸಿ ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ.
Meanwhile, the opposition staged a walkout earlier today after Jagadish Shettar termed the explanation on part of the Home Minister regarding the issue as unsatisfactory. Shettar went on to question that after the case has been handed over to the CCB, there have been no developments, and in the last 1 week there was no real effort made to arrest or interrogate both Kashyapanavar as well as Somshekhar Gowda.
ಇವತ್ತು ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಈ ಒಂದು ಕೇಸನ್ನು ಹ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಫಲಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅನಿಸ್ತದೆ, ಮೇಲ್ನೋಟಕ್ಕೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಅನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಪೊಲೀಸರು ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರವಾಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ನನಗೆ ಅನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಭಾವಿ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳು ಇದ್ದಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸರಿಯಾದಂಥ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರವಾಗಿ ಇದನ್ನ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ನನಗೆ ಅನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
Well, the Supreme Court has ruled that Shariat courts have no legal sanction and no one is bound to accept a fatwa or diktat by such courts. The top court gave its verdict on a petition filed by a Delhi-based advocate, Vishwalochan Madan, challenging parallel courts run by institutions like Darul Qaza and Darul Ifta. The petitioner had argued that Shariat courts are illegal and operated as parallel courts in the country, deciding on religious and social freedom of Muslim citizens, and that fundamental rights of Muslims cannot be controlled and curtailed by fatwas issued by qazis and muftis appointed by Muslim organizations. While reserving the verdict in Feb this year, the Supreme Court observed that it cannot interfere with fatwas or religious decrees issued by Muslim clerics.
A writ petition under Article 32 was filed by one advocate, Mr. Vishwalochan Madan. His basic prayer was that these qazis and muftis, they are running parallel courts, and they should be stopped from doing so, and nobody can run a parallel court in India. And they have cited the case of Imrana, in which fatwa was given that the father-in-law has committed offence with the daughter-in-law, and the marriage was declared illegal. Court said that these fatwas, these Darul Qaza or whatever name they are called, or Darul Ifta, they have no legal sanction. Therefore, it can't be said that they are running parallel judiciary. And they have cited the case of Imrana. They said it is an eye-opener. Therefore, the fatwas cannot be given by asking for only by a stranger. In this case, the fatwa was obtained by a journalist. They have said fatwa can be given only when the concerned party approaches. This is they have streamlined the procedure, and they have not declared that the Shariat courts are unconstitutional or they cannot run. The writ petition was that they should be stopped from running parallel judiciary. Court said court didn't go into all this. No, court said they are not running parallel judiciary. Therefore, that cannot be stopped, and they have not allowed the writ petition. They have disposed it off.
Moving on now, Congress workers have been staging a protest against price rise and inflation in Jantar Mantar in New Delhi. Police personnel have been deployed in the area to keep the protest under control.
की बिजली कम करने की बात हुई थी, वो तो भूल ही गए हैं। आज आप कोई भी चीज ले लीजिएगा, आज प्याज ले लीजिएगा, आलू ले लीजिएगा, पेट्रोल ले लीजिएगा, डीजल ले लीजिएगा, कौन सी ऐसी चीज है जो रोजाना आवश्यकता की चीज बोला कि हम आपके लिए अच्छे दिन लाएंगे।
However, the chaotic events are only escalating, with Congress workers shouting slogans against the government. Police have also installed barricades at the site. Let's not forget that today the budget session has begun, in which it is expected, and it is, even as we speak, the opposition is cornering the NDA government, questioning as to what measures the Modi government has taken to control price rise in the backdrop of rail fare, basic commodities as well as fuel price being hiked. And now Congress workers are continuing their agitation against the Modi government. Today they staged a protest in Jantar Mantar in New Delhi, where placards were held up, and many leaders in fact came out and gave speeches going on to state that all the promises that were made by the Modi government are absolutely false. Well, in the backdrop of uproar over the quitting of Goa Governor Bharat Veer Vanchu, it has now come to light that Vanchu was asked to quit by the central government, confirming earlier reports of the newly elected NDA government asking UP-appointed governors to tender their resignations. Sources have indicated that Vanchu got a call from Union Home Secretary Anil Goswami on July 4th asking him to quit. Vanchu's statement was being recorded by the CBI in connection to the Augusta Westland shopper deal case when he received the call. In the next 1 hour, the governor sent across his resignation letter to President Pranab Mukherjee. Yesterday, Gujarat Governor Dr. Kamala Beniwal had been transferred to Mizoram for the remainder of the term, while Mizoram Governor Vakom Purushottam was shifted as Governor of Nagaland. Governor of Rajasthan, Margaret Alva, will discharge the functions of Governor of Gujarat in addition to her own duties until regular arrangements for the office of the Governor of Gujarat are made. And well, these developments come in the backdrop of reports that indicated soon after Modi took over as the Chief Prime Minister of the country that orders were sent across to UP-appointed governors to step down due to the change in power in the centre. And well, a special Kasab class is part of the Pakistan-based terror group Lashkar-e-Taiba training module for its new recruits. In the class, the recruits are being asked not to make the same mistakes committed by Ajmal Kasab during the deadly Mumbai terror attack. The knowledge of such a class emerged during interrogation of LET terrorist Mohammad Naveed Jatt, who is a resident of Multan in Pakistan. Jatt was arrested by the police in the third week of last month in South Kashmir. Jatt told interrogators that his father was a retired army driver and he, along with his brothers, were part of madrasas which were owned by Jamaat-ud-Dawa, which is an NGO front of the LET.